Hello and welcome to Quilt Addicts Anonymous. I'm Stephanie Soebbing. We've reached the final segment in our free motion quilting series, and over the next several videos we're going to be taking a look at wavy lines. I love wavy lines. I use them all the time. They're very simple, but you can use them to get really fancy and create amazing results on your quilts. So we're going to show you some of my preferred ways to use them in the next couple of videos, and I think you're going to fall in love with them too. They're just so pretty and they look great on modern quilts, and they can be adapted to be as simple as possible to looking super fancy. So that's my favorite kind of free motion stitch. I think it's super underrated and I think you're going to love it too. Just a reminder that we've got a pattern for this free motion quilting series. It shows you how to either do quilt as you go, which we are doing here in this video that you're seeing me here. So it's easier to manage the smaller blocks when you're quilting on your home sewing machine, or we have instructions on how to put the entire quilt top together so you can do it on your long arm and just load it and do it in one go. We do have video that's going to show up in the corner that's going to show me long arming at the same time as I'm doing this. It's going to be at a little bit different speeds because I'm a little bit faster on the long arm than I am in when I'm working on my home sewing machine. But that way, no matter what you're sewing on, you're going to get some tips and tricks and some great techniques that you can use and really dress up your quilting. We're taking 4 basic stitches and showing you how to customize them in an infinite number of ways so you can have fabulous quilts and finish more of them yourself. All right, so like we've been doing with all the other stitches, whenever we start off with a new one, we're going to start off with the template. So you can get our quilt kits if you want, and we have 4 different color options that you can choose from for that. Or you can use your own fabric and you can just get the stencils as well. We're doing 4 stencils to help teach us the muscle memory. This one is a nice wavy line stencil, and so we have our nice wavy lines that I've already marked on here. If you need a refresher on how to mark your stencil, just head back to our video where we go over how to use your pounce pad and we show you how to do it on that video. All right, so all I'm going to do here is I'm just going to follow this line as best I can. I'm going to go back and forth a little bit on it. Whenever I'm working on the long arm, I'm going from left to right and just going one way. But for this case, we're just going to go up and down and it'll be fine as well, because then we don't have to keep turning our work. So same as we've been doing forever, we are trying to get a nice even speed with our machine and in the speed that we're moving our hands to create good stitch length. And we're just going to follow those lines and get a nice little wavy texture design. This is a really modern look, and it's a great way to fill in a quilt fast for a nice all-over design. So this definitely can be utilized over the entire top of your quilt if you want. So I think we're actually going to treat this like a real quilt, and we're going to start by doing the wavy line straight down that center. And then we'll just quilt off to the side. That way we only have to fit half of our block under the machine at any one time. Makes things a lot easier. And get that rhythm again. But you can see that chalk powder is really already coming off. It's not supposed to be there forever. So you really want to be cognizant that when you do move your hands, that you are lifting them up and sending them down rather than swiping them across. Oops. All right, see what I just did? I just stitched way off to the side there. We are going to actually cut some thread and break that because that's going to be super obvious with this white on this purple. So what I did there is I clipped that. This is why you want to stop with your needle down if you can. All right, so I have not cut my bobbin thread. It's still beneath there. This was the extra that I pulled out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a couple of stitches back here, and I'm just going to put my needle down and right up again through the line of stitching I've already done. And then I'm going to use that to pull up the bobbin thread. And you can see it's not broken. It's just one long strip here. So I'm going to give that a clip. And now I'm going to start back right where we ended here. And what I'm going to be able to do is stitch over those ones I've already done, and you'll never be able to tell that there was a break there, and I can just clip those threads. Some people say you have to bury them. That really only counts for show quilts. As long as you secure your threads, you don't have to worry about it. It won't be a problem. All right, so now I'm going to do my best put right on top of that line that I already had going there, so that you can't tell where I stopped there. And I think we're doing a pretty decent job. All right, I'm going to stitch over, and then just keep going down and back until we get to the side of our block and we've done all of our lines. Alright, so now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to stitch over so I don't have to break thread. Get over to my next stitching line. And now you cannot do this if you have a big quilt, but since we're doing quilts as you go, I can flip the entire block around and just fill in the rest of this. All right, so here's where we had that thread issue where I got off. So you can't tell now that I've clipped those threads, that just looks like one continuous line. Because we started within the seam or within the stitching line a little bit back, and then we went over, and that secures those stitches really well. Those are not going to come out, so you're good to just clip it. You could bury your threads, but really that's only necessary for show quilts. So this looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the way this looks. It's not a nice smooth curve. Like I said, I find that a lot easier to do on the long arm than I do on a domestic, because long arm you can kind of just go, over like that, and it's so much easier. But when you're doing this, you're kind of gently moving and going like this. It's very much a more hands-on process. So I find it easier to do organic wavy lines, but this is a really good way to make that muscle memory, which is why we start with the stencil always. This is a very like matchy organic line, like they all get wider in the center and then over on the sides here. But we followed the idea of the curve, and when we do it in the next video, when we're doing it ourselves and we're doing cross-hatched, it's going to be just, you know, whatever we want. And so we're just going to go every which way, and that'll be a lot of fun too. So it's not perfectly in line, but you know what? The lines are about to go away. So let's go ahead and do that and hit it with the iron to get rid of that ultimate white chalk powder. Just a reminder, this does not work on the regular white chalk powder, which we don't even sell because we don't want you guys to be confused. And then it also definitely does not work on the pink or the blue because that has pigment in it and it will just heat set it to your fabric, which we don't want. All right, so here we are. We have our not quite perfect, but nice and wavy lines. If we would have used matching thread, you wouldn't be able to tell the imperfections. So I'm using white so you can see it really clearly on the camera. You certainly don't have to. You can get matching thread if you want, but white will also help you see very well, and it's just a practice piece. And so we're just going to have a quilt when we're done with our practice piece. Which brings me to the reminder that we do have quilt kits available in 4 different colorways for this. All the fabric is reorderable, so we'll be able to have this from now until the end of time. The last time we did a series, you guys bought all of the original in like a couple days, and then we just kept, you know, we always are putting out new variations of it, but I know you always like the original best. So we've got that going for you here. We're able to keep getting these from Northcott Fabrics. It's a great high quality solid cotton. All right, well, grab that, grab your stencil pack, grab your pattern, and let's meet us up in the next video where we're going to do this all organically with no stencils, and we're going to do cross-hatch wavy lines. All right, until next time, happy quilting.